The house felt softer after the baby arrived, not louder. Not chaotic, just softer. And Luna, the white Persian cat, noticed it immediately. Luna had always loved quiet spaces. She preferred warm windowsills, slow afternoons, and gentle routines. Her life was a peaceful, predictable rhythm, and she liked it that way. So when her family brought home a newborn baby named Oliver, wrapped in a light cotton blanket, Luna didn't hide under the bed or hiss from a distance. She simply watched. Her long white fur was perfectly still, her round emerald eyes curious but calm. Oliver was tiny, so fragile. His breathing came in soft little rhythms that filled the room like a whisper. Luna followed those sounds with careful attention. She tilted her head, her ears twitching, trying to understand this new presence. She didn't know what a baby was, but she understood one thing very clearly. He was not a threat. He was a gentle sound in a gentle house. For the first few days, Luna kept a respectful distance. She established a new routine, one that revolved around this tiny human. She would sleep just outside the nursery door, a silent, furry guardian. When Oliver was being fed on the couch, she would sit quietly at the other end, observing everything. It was as if she were learning a new language, one made only of small movements, soft coos, and gentle sounds. She was studying him, getting to know him, without ever needing to get too close. Then one afternoon, something shifted. The air in the living room was warm and still. Oliver was lying on a soft blanket on the floor, his little arms moving slowly through the air, his fingers opening and closing without any real purpose. Luna, who had been watching from her favorite spot on the rug, decided it was time. She stepped closer. Her paws sank into the plush fibers of the rug as she approached, as silent and graceful as a shadow. She stopped right beside the blanket and sat down, her posture elegant and composed. Oliver, sensing her presence, turned his head. Their eyes met. There was no surprise, no fear in that shared glance, only a mutual innocent curiosity. Oliver lifted his tiny hand. It drifted through the air and brushed against Luna's long flowing fur. It was warm and impossibly soft. Luna didn't flinch or move away. Instead, she lowered herself carefully onto the rug, lying down beside the baby. She was close enough for him to feel her warmth, but gentle enough not to startle him. Her long, fluffy tail wrapped loosely around her body, and then her purring began. It wasn't a small, tentative purr. It was slow, deep, and steady, a rumbling vibration that seemed to fill the space between them. Oliver became completely still. That purr did something no other sound had ever done before. It calmed him instantly. His random movements ceased, and a look of pure peace settled on his face. From that day on, Luna chose the baby. She had made her decision. He was hers to watch over. Every morning, she waited patiently near the nursery door for him to wake up. During his naps, she would curl up on the nearby armchair. She never tried to get into the crib, never got too close to his face, always respectful, always just present. When Oliver cried, Luna didn't panic or run away from the noise like some cats might. She would walk slowly into the room, her movements calm and deliberate, and sit where he could see her. Just her presence was often enough. His cries would soften, then stop, replaced by a quiet curiosity as his eyes focused on her. As the weeks turned into a month, then two, Oliver began to truly recognize her. His eyes would follow her graceful movements across the room. His whole face would brighten when she entered, a little smile forming on his lips. And Luna, who had once been so independent and almost aloof, adjusted her entire world around him. During tummy time, she would lie on the floor in front of him, her face level with his, and blink slowly, a sign of trust and affection in the feline world. When he kicked his legs with excitement, she would flick the tip of her tail gently, as if playing a game only they understood. And when he laughed for the very first time, a sudden bubbling sound that surprised everyone, Luna froze for a second. And then she purred louder than she ever had before. There was no single big dramatic moment in their story. No heroic rescue or viral clip. It was just hundreds of small, quiet ones. A gentle touch here, a soft purr there. It was the way she would rest her head on the arm of the couch while he had his bottle. It was the way he would reach for her, his little fingers getting lost in her thick coat. One evening, as the sun faded and painted the room in hues of orange and purple, the house grew quiet. Oliver lay half asleep in his crib, his breathing soft and even. Luna jumped softly onto the chair beside him. She settled down, placed her head on her paws, and just watched him breathe. Oliver stirred in his sleep, his little hand reaching through the crib bars, and touched her fur again. Luna leaned into the touch, pressing her forehead lightly against his tiny fingers. It was a promise without words. A silent declaration of their bond. Months later, Oliver could sit up on his own. He was more interactive, more curious. Luna allowed him to gently grab handfuls of her fur, never once reacting with annoyance, only with infinite patience. She would stay right beside him as he explored the world slowly, carefully, one new movement at a time. She was his constant, fluffy companion. And then, when Oliver spoke his first soft sounds, babbling to himself, one of them came out barely clear, barely formed but unmistakable. Luna's head shot up instantly. She walked over to him, her tail held high, her eyes warm and full of recognition. She sat beside him, just like she always had. This wasn't a story of a cat saving a baby, or a baby rescuing a lonely pet. It was much quieter, much deeper than that.